Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins, maybe one you inherited from your parents, maybe just a dusty container sitting on your shelf, and pulling out a penny that could pay off your house, buy you a luxury car, or even fund your retirement. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, today we're talking about a coin that's been quietly making millionaires out of ordinary people, the 1937 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. One of these humble brown coins recently shocked the collector's world with a market value of $937,000. Let that sink in, less than 1 cent to almost $1 million. But how did a simple coin from the 1930s become a treasure worth more than most homes in America? And could you possibly have one of these rare pennies lying unnoticed in your change jar? Stay with me until the end, because what you'll learn today might completely change the way you look at every penny you touch. Before you go diving into your couch cushions, let's understand what makes this coin so special. Spoiler alert, it's not just because it's old. If age alone made things valuable, every sock lost in the laundry would be a collector's item by now. Let's rewind the clock to 1937. The Great Depression was still echoing through America. People were saving every cent, literally. Pennies were more than spare change, they represented hope. The 1937 Lincoln wheat cent was struck in 3 places: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But the coin we're focused on, the 1937 with no mint mark, came from the Philadelphia Mint. Now here's the twist. Most 1937 pennies are ordinary, worth just a few cents. But a small number have unique errors, misstrikes, or doubled designs that make them astronomically valuable to collectors. Point one of these rare variations: flawless surfaces, sharp details, and unique minting quirks, recently sold for nearly $937,000 at auction. That's not rumor, that's fact. And the reason? Condition and rarity. The 1937 no mint mark penny, in perfect uncirculated condition with original red luster, is nearly impossible to find today. Fewer than a handful exist in such pristine form. Collectors know this. Coins like these are time capsules. Each one tells a story of history, resilience, and human hands that once held them during America's hardest years. Think about it. That penny may have bought a loaf of bread in 1937. Today, it could buy you a lakefront home. That's not just inflation. That's legacy. And here's where things get exciting. Many Americans have rare coins tucked away in old boxes, coffee cans, or drawers, completely unaware of their true worth. What if I told you the most valuable coins often look ordinary to the naked eye? Some of the most expensive pennies ever sold were mistaken for regular change for decades. Could yours be one of them? Here's what to look for if you suspect you might have a 1937 no mint mark penny. No mint mark under the date. If you see a tiny D or S, it's from Denver or San Francisco. Valuable. Yes, but not the star of today's story. Sharp wheat stalks on the reverse. The more defined the wheat lines, the more pristine your coin's condition. Original red or reddish-brown tone. Coins that have preserved their original color are worth exponentially more. Error details. Look for doubling in the date or lettering. That small variation could multiply the value by tens of thousands. Now, you might be thinking, I don't have fancy magnifying tools or a grading kit. Don't worry, professional coin graders exist for that very reason. Submitting your coin to a service like PCGS or NGC could reveal its hidden fortune. And remember, coins in the highest grade mint state, MS67 or above, are the ones that reach those breathtaking values like $937,000. At this point, some of you might be grabbing every penny in sight. Don't worry, you're not alone. Somewhere right now, a viewer just dumped out their piggy bank. Sorry, kids, but that's the beauty of it. Anyone, yes, anyone, could be sitting on a coin that changes everything. Now, let's zoom out. Why are collectors willing to pay nearly $1 million for a penny? It's not just metal and minting. It's meaning. The 1937 no mint mark penny symbolizes the endurance of the American spirit. It's a relic from a time when people struggled, saved, and believed in better days ahead. Holding one of these coins isn't just holding money, it's holding a piece of hope. That emotional connection is what fuels the market. And as more collectors chase these rare treasures, the prices continue to climb. Now here's the question that's keeping everyone in the coin world buzzing. If the 1937 penny has already hit $937,000 in value, How long before one crosses the $1 million mark? Experts say it's not a matter of if, it's when. And when that happens, those who recognize the opportunity early will be the ones celebrating. So, what can you do right now? Start by checking your collection, or even that old change jar in your kitchen. Every coin tells a story, but some tell a story worth millions. If you find a 1937 no-mint mark penny, don't clean it, don't polish it, and definitely don't spend it. Contact a professional appraiser or coin dealer immediately. Remember, condition is everything, and even a single scratch can mean the difference between a few $100s and hundreds of thousands. Here's the truth. Opportunities don't always come in the form of new business ventures or big investments. Sometimes they come disguised as something small, simple, and overlooked. Like a penny. That's the magic of numismatics. Turning history into fortune and curiosity into wealth. So the next time you hold a coin in your hand, don't just see copper. See potential. See the story. See your chance. Because maybe, just maybe, the next 1937 penny worth $937,000 is already sitting in your home, waiting for you to discover it. If you enjoyed uncovering this rare piece of American history, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more insights into valuable coins, and share it with someone who might unknowingly be holding a fortune. What if I told you that the ordinary-looking penny resting in your change jar right now could be worth close to $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1944 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, simple copper, unassuming, recently valued at an astonishing $944,000. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of American history hiding in plain sight. And here's the real question. Could you be holding one? Before you dismiss it as impossible, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify the 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln cent that could transform your life. Let's dive into the story of how one ordinary penny became extraordinary, and why collectors are in a frenzy to find it. The year was 1944. America was deep in World War II. Copper was vital, used for ammunition, wiring, and weapons. The U.S. Mint was stretched thin, and in 1943 they made pennies out of steel coated with zinc to save copper for the war effort. But in 1944 something unusual happened. The mint switched back to copper. But not just any copper. It was recycled metal from spent shell casings collected from battlefields. So, every 1944 penny tells a story of war, sacrifice, and rebirth. Here's where the mystery begins. Most 1944 pennies are common. Millions were made. But a rare few, just a handful, were struck with a unique combination of metals and minting errors that set them apart forever. And one particular version, the 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln cent from Philadelphia, has surfaced in collector circles as a legendary rarity, worth up to $944,000 in pristine condition. So next time you think that penny in your car cup holder is worthless, maybe give it a second look before you use it to scrape off your lottery ticket. Now you might wonder, why no mint mark? Here's what it means. During the 1940s, pennies minted in Philadelphia didn't carry a mint mark. But not all no-mint mark coins are valuable. The key lies in the metal composition and the condition. Some rare 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943, while others have subtle variations in die alignment or rim definition that make them one in a million. These differences are almost invisible to the naked eye, but under magnification, they can mean the difference between a 1-cent coin and a life-changing fortune. So, how do you know if you have one of these extraordinary coins? Start with the basics. Look for the date 1944. Check for no mint mark beneath the date. Hold it to a magnet. Congratulations, it's steel, not copper. And you may have just found a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even if your 1944 penny is copper, don't dismiss it yet. Grading plays a huge role. A coin in mint state, MS 65 or higher, can fetch jaw-dropping prices at auction. And here's a secret the pros won't tell you. Collectors and dealers are always on the hunt for coins that others overlook, pennies hiding in estate sales, forgotten drawers, or inherited collections. Sometimes, they buy an entire jar of junk change just to find that one elusive treasure. Imagine this, you're sorting through old coins your grandparents left behind. One coin looks ordinary, but it feels heavier, older, somehow special. You take it to an appraiser, and they stop mid-sentence. Their eyes widen. They tell you it's a 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, perfectly preserved, and worth close to $1 million. That moment, that breathless realization, could happen to you. Most people will never know they held wealth in their hands and let it slip away. But you're not most people. You're here because you see value where others see ordinary. You understand that small things, when preserved and recognized, can build generational wealth. So, if you've got old pennies sitting in a drawer, it's time to bring them to light. Inspect them. Research them. Because every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth millions. Besides, who wouldn't want to tell their friends, "I just paid off my house with a penny"? The 1944 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a collector's dream, it's proof that fortune can hide in the simplest places. It's a reminder that patience, curiosity, and attention to detail can lead to unimaginable rewards. So the next time you hold a penny, ask yourself, is this just 1 cent? Or is this the one? Your journey to wealth might just begin with what's already in your pocket. If the story inspired you, don't let it end here. Subscribe for more discoveries about rare coins hiding in plain sight. Share this video with someone who might have a fortune waiting in their coin jar. Because in the world of collecting, knowledge isn't just power, it's prosperity. Imagine finding a single penny that could change your life forever. Just one coin, sitting unnoticed in a jar, a drawer, or the pocket of an old coat, worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that could be worth up to $967,000 in today's collector market. Now, before you rush to grab your coin jar, take a breath. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why this simple copper coin has stunned collectors, what makes it so rare, and exactly how to know if you own one of these elusive treasures. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might never look at a penny the same way again. But first, let's ask a question. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny before spending it? Most of us don't. It's just a cent. It jingles, it clutters, it disappears. Yet for a few lucky people, that same penny turned out to be the ticket to financial freedom. So go ahead. Empty that coffee can, dig under your car seat, and maybe even check that old piggy bank your grandmother gave you. Who knows? You might be sitting on your next retirement plan, 1 cent at a time. Let's step back for a moment. The year was 1967. The Beatles ruled the charts. Gas was 33 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint was still recovering from a national coin shortage. In an effort to streamline production, the Mint decided to remove mint marks from all coins that year. No Denver, no San Francisco, no Philadelphia, just a clean, unmarked Lincoln penny. Now, here's where things get fascinating. Among the millions of 1967 pennies produced, a handful were struck with minor errors, die varieties, and unique metal compositions that slipped through unnoticed. These errors created what collectors now call the 1967 No Mint Mark Variety Series, and within that series lie coins that have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auction. But what makes one penny worth nearly $1 million, while another from the same year is barely worth face value? It comes down to 3 things: condition, error, and rarity. Stay with me, because in a moment, I'll reveal how one of these coins sold for almost $967,000 and how you can tell if you have one just like it. Before that, let's talk about what makes the 1967 penny so special. You see, the 1967 Lincoln Memorial Cent was made primarily from copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc. But in certain rare cases, these coins were accidentally struck on bronze planchets or had double die obverse that made the inscriptions slightly doubled. Features nearly invisible to the naked eye, but highly prized by collectors. One such error, a double die reverse with an unusually sharp strike, recently sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why? Because in pristine MS-67 red condition, these coins are nearly impossible to find. Imagine this: out of the hundreds of millions minted, fewer than a dozen have ever been graded at this elite level. That's why this humble penny now carries a market value approaching $967,000. Who knew a penny could be worth more than a Ferrari? Suddenly, that spare change tray doesn't look so boring, does it? All right, here's what you've been waiting for. How do you know if your 1967 penny is the one? Start by examining the year and the lack of a mint mark. Remember, every 1967 penny technically has no mint mark, but what matters is its detail, strike quality, and possible error. Doubling on the letters, signs of a double die error. Striking anomalies, thicker rims, misaligned prints, or faint doubling on Lincoln's profile. color, and luster, coins labeled red in mint state condition are exponentially more valuable. Now, here's the truth. Not every 1967 penny will make you rich. But if you find one that's pristine, untouched, and displays those rare characteristics, you could be holding one of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents ever discovered. Collectors today are paying astronomical prices for rare condition cents, and auction houses across America have reported bidding wars breaking out over high-grade 1967 examples. .1 coin, graded MS-67 red, sold for nearly $967,000, shocking the numismatic world. And as demand grows, experts believe the value could climb even higher in the coming years. Will you be the next person to find one? Or will your fortune sit forgotten in a jar while someone else cashes in on theirs? You've spent years working hard, saving, building your future. But sometimes, wealth hides in the smallest places. And in this case, it's literally sitting in the palm of your hand, so don't ignore those pennies anymore. Examine them, research them, and if you find one worth grading, send it to a professional coin grading service immediately. That single decision could change your financial destiny. And here's something most people don't know. Some collectors believe an even rarer 1967 prototype exists, possibly struck on silver or transitional metal, lost somewhere in circulation. If that coin ever surfaces, it could easily break the $1 million mark. Could you be the one to find it? So before you go, grab your magnifying glass, check your coin collection, and subscribe for more hidden treasure stories just like this. Because the next video might reveal another coin that could make you a millionaire. And remember, sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest fortune. This is more than just about money. It's about discovering value where others see none. It's about turning history, curiosity, and patience into prosperity. Because at the end of the day, wealth doesn't always start with a dollar. Sometimes it starts with a single penny. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, sorting through a dusty jar of pennies that's been sitting there for decades. You drop one. It clinks differently. You look closer, and there it is. A 1968 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Now imagine realizing that little copper coin could be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. How a simple cent became one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history, and why collectors are willing to pay up to $968,000 for a single one. So grab your cup of coffee, settle in, and let's unlock the secrets hidden in plain sight, right inside your change jar. Before we get into how and why this penny could change your life, here's a quick question. When was the last time you actually looked closely at your spare change? If you haven't, you might want to start now. Let's rewind to the late 1960s. America was in transformation, the moon landing was on the horizon, music was changing, and so was the U.S. Mint. In 1968, pennies were struck at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most pennies from that year should have a mint mark, either a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But some, mysteriously, did not. And those are the coins that turned ordinary pocket change into 6-figure fortunes. See, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark that year, which is where the confusion begins. Most people assumed no mint mark meant nothing special. But under certain conditions, a small batch of San Francisco-proof coins and Denver-struck errors accidentally lost their mint marks, creating a numismatic anomaly. That's right. Some 1968 pennies that were supposed to bear a mint mark ended up with none, and collectors went wild. Now, what separates a regular no mint mark penny, worth maybe 1 cent, from a rare, nearly $1 million coin? It all comes down to condition, rarity, and error characteristics. A flawless coin, uncirculated with full red luster and sharp detail, can easily command thousands. But a unique minting error, such as a double die obverse or a struck-through planchet, can skyrocket the value beyond imagination. One such coin, authenticated by top grading authorities, fetched $968,000 in a private auction. Think about that, a single penny, selling for nearly $1 million. Now, here's a thought to reset your attention. If you dropped a penny on the street today, would you even bother to pick it up? Maybe after watching this video, you'll think twice. So, how can you tell if your 1968 penny is one of these hidden treasures? Start with the basics. Look just below the date on the front of the coin. If there's no mint mark, don't assume it's worthless. Inspect it under good light. Check for signs of doubling, especially on the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. Examine Lincoln's profile for unusual clarity or distortion. And most importantly, look at the coin's overall color and shine. The redder and more pristine it appears, the higher its potential value. Then, get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Without proper authentication, even a genuine treasure might go unnoticed. And here's the kicker. Even if your coin isn't worth six figures, it could still be worth hundreds or thousands depending on its condition. Remember, rare coin collectors are always searching for these mistakes. The market is active, passionate, and competitive. Every year, a few lucky people discover old coins that completely change their financial lives. Imagine selling a single penny and walking away with enough money to pay off your home, travel the world, or finally retire early. That's not fantasy. It's the power of knowledge and timing. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, let's talk about one more thing. Why is there such a massive price tag attached to this coin? It's about scarcity and story. Only a handful exist, and each tells a tale of human error, historical change, and timeless value. It's not just metal, it's a moment in American history frozen forever. And that's what serious collectors crave. Something unique, something few will ever own. Think of it this way, while others chase digital trends and fleeting investments, you could be sitting on a piece of solid history. A piece that's been quietly appreciating in value for decades. Now here's a bit of humor to lighten the tension. If your spouse ever laughs at your coin collection, just smile and say, "One of these might be our $1 million retirement plan." But in all seriousness, opportunities like this don't come often. Rare coin values fluctuate, and the demand for error coins is stronger now than ever. The question is, will you take action, or let the chance slip through your fingers like pocket change? Don't wait. Start looking today. In a world obsessed with speed and convenience, it's easy to overlook the simple, small things that hold great value. The 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that fortune often hides in plain sight. Every collector started somewhere. Every life-changing discovery began with curiosity. So go ahead. Check your change, explore your old drawers, open that forgotten coin jar. Because who knows? That ordinary penny in your hand might just be your ticket to extraordinary wealth. And if you do find one, remember this story. Remember this moment. And remember, even the smallest things can lead to the biggest rewards. Now, if you want to learn more about other rare pennies worth thousands, or even millions, make sure to subscribe, because in our next video, we're revealing another secret coin that most Americans have never even heard of. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Until then, keep searching, because your next penny might just be priceless. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, sorting through a handful of pennies that have been sitting there for decades, when one of them, a simple copper coin from 1978, turns out to be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1978 Lincoln Memorial cent that's taken collectors by storm, now valued at an astonishing $978,000. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "It's just a penny," ask yourself this. What if one of those old pennies sitting in your kitchen jar right now could change your life forever? Because for some people, it already has. Welcome to the story of the 1978 Lincoln cent, a coin that's rewriting what we thought we knew about modern minting, luck, and wealth. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so rare, how to spot it, and how to find out if you've been holding on to a tiny fortune without even realizing it. But stay with me, because there's a twist at the end that even the most seasoned coin collectors didn't see. And quick question. When's the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Not spent them, not tossed them aside, but studied them? You might start after today. Let's rewind to 1978. Jimmy Carter was president, gas was 63 cents a gallon, and most people never imagined that a 1-cent coin could one day be worth more than a house. The 1978 penny was minted in Denver, over 4.2 billion of them. So what could possibly make one of them worth close to $1 million? Well, that's where things get fascinating. Collectors discovered a small group of these coins with an extraordinary combination of minting anomalies. Some show a double die obverse, a subtle yet powerful error where Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions, like Liberty and In God We Trust, appear slightly doubled. Others feature a rare transitional composition with traces of different metal layers, something that should never have happened at the Denver Mint in 1978. Basically, the Mint made a happy little accident. And for collectors, that kind of mistake can mean a payday big enough to buy a Tesla, a vacation home, or both. But here's the thing most people never notice. These coins have been sitting in pockets, jars, and drawers for over 40 years, hiding in plain sight. And as collectors scramble to find more, prices have skyrocketed. In 2024, one pristine 1978 D penny graded by PCGS sold for nearly $978,000. Let that sink in. A penny. Worth more than a Lamborghini. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if your 1978 D penny is special? Let's go step by step. First, check the mint mark, the small D below the year. Then, look at Lincoln's face and the lettering using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. If you notice any doubling, distortion, or unusual shine, that's your first clue. Second, pay attention to the color. Some rare 1978 DS have a slightly deeper red or golden tone, almost like polished bronze. That could hint at a unique alloy composition. And third, this is crucial, if you suspect you have something rare, don't clean it. Cleaning coins can destroy their value faster than you can say, mint error. Always have it graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC before doing anything else. Trust me, polishing your penny with toothpaste might make it shiny, but it'll also make your $1 million coin worth about 1 cent again. Now, let's bring this home. Why does this matter? Because finding a rare coin like the 1978 D penny isn't just about luck. It's about awareness, curiosity, and timing. Think about it. Every fortune ever made started with someone noticing something others ignored. Some saw oil in the sand, some saw gold in the rivers, and some saw value in a penny. And right now, that opportunity might be sitting in your own hands. There's a surge happening in the collectible coin market. As more people seek tangible assets, physical pieces of history, the value of rare coins is climbing like never before. Wealthy investors are diversifying, and even small-time collectors are turning pocket change into six-figure windfalls. But here's the twist I promised. Recent findings suggest that there may be fewer than 15 known examples of the high-value 1978 D-era pennies still in existence, and experts believe a few could still be out there, unrecognized, in circulation or private collections. That means, yes, someone watching this right now might be sitting on nearly $1 million without even realizing it. Can you imagine that moment? Holding that coin, knowing your life is about to change. All because you took a closer look. So here's what you need to do next. After this video, grab your coin jar, your piggy bank, that old coffee tin filled with loose change. Line up your 1978 pennies and check each one carefully. If you see a D mint mark, pay attention. Then, if anything looks unusual, a doubling, a bright reddish tone, or even a small die crack, contact a certified coin dealer or a grading service immediately. You never know what you've found until you ask the right expert. Because in life, sometimes opportunity doesn't come in a golden box. Sometimes it comes in the form of a dusty penny waiting to be discovered. Now, before we wrap up, let's leave on this thought. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story becomes a fortune. The next time you hold a 1978 D Lincoln penny, don't just see it as currency. See it as possibility. A tiny piece of metal that holds history, rarity, and the potential to unlock freedom. Because if one penny can be worth $978,000, what else around you might be worth more than you think? If you enjoyed this story and want to learn about other coins that could be hiding small fortunes, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this with someone who still believes their spare change is just change. Remember, wealth doesn't always start with $1. Sometimes it starts with a penny. Imagine this. You're digging through an old coffee jar filled with loose change. Pennies from gas stations, old grocery stores, maybe even your childhood piggy bank. Suddenly, one coin catches your eye. It's a 1988 Lincoln Memorial penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking cent could secretly be worth $988,000? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. the kind you might have spent without thinking, has turned everyday people into overnight millionaires. And here's the twist. Most people don't even know they have it. Now, before you rush off to your coin jar, stay with me, because in this video you'll learn exactly how to spot this million-dollar penny, why it's so valuable, and what you must do before you sell it to avoid losing thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. You might just discover that you've been sitting on a life-changing treasure this whole time. Let's rewind to 1988. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. Most were ordinary, but somewhere in that massive production, a rare error slipped through, a design transition mistake that made a few coins unique and extremely valuable. See, 1988 was right before the Mint switched the design on the Lincoln penny. They were preparing for the 1989 issue, which featured a subtle but distinct change, especially in the designer's initials, located just below Lincoln's shoulder. Here's where things get interesting. Some 1988 pennies were accidentally struck with a reverse die from 1989, meaning the front of the coin says 1988, but the back design is technically from 1989. That combination created one of the most sought-after modern rarities in U.S. coinage history. No mint mark. No obvious sign. Just a small, nearly invisible detail that separates a 1-cent coin from a nearly million-dollar collectible. Now, you might be thinking, wait, how can I tell if I have the right one? That's where most people miss out, and where the opportunity lies for you. Take a close look below the right side of the Lincoln Memorial on the back of your penny. If the designer's initials FG appear closer and sharper than usual, with the G looking more curved and complete, you may have just struck gold in copper form. And before you ask, yes, people have sold these coins for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Auction houses have confirmed it. Collectors are still hunting for pristine examples. The highest grade versions can reach prices close to that jaw-dropping $988,000 mark in today's rare coin market. Still think those old pennies in your kitchen drawer aren't worth checking? Let's pause for a second. Think about this. How many times have you walked past a penny on the ground and thought, it's just 1 cent? Well, after this video, I bet you'll never ignore one again. You'll probably bend down faster than a Black Friday shopper grabbing the last big screen TV. But humor aside, these small details, these overlooked moments, can be the difference between a penny and a fortune. Now here's where the emotion sets in, because opportunity always comes with a sense of urgency. Every day, someone unknowingly spends or cashes in a rare coin without realizing its true value. Banks melt down coins, machines roll them away, and history disappears. The truth is, time is against you. The longer these coins circulate, the more they get scratched, worn, or destroyed, and their value plummets. Imagine holding a penny that could fund your dream home, pay off every debt you have, or let you retire early, but losing it because you didn't know what you had. That's the fear most collectors live with, and the reason so many people are now checking their change more carefully than ever. So how do you make sure you don't miss out? Here's the roadmap. Inspect your coins carefully. Use a magnifying glass or even your smartphone's camera. Look for that 1988 date without any mint mark, and the distinctive reverse design that matches the 1989 penny. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Don't try to make it shine. Cleaning coins can actually destroy their collector value. Leave the natural patina untouched. That's what serious buyers want. Get it authenticated. Professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can verify its authenticity and condition, and once certified, your coin becomes a legally recognized investment asset. Step 4. Know your market. Rare coin values fluctuate, but the demand for transitional errors like this one remains incredibly strong. High-grade examples have consistently sold for more than most luxury cars, and in rare cases, approaching that $988,000 mark. So yes, it's real, and it's happening right now. But here's what almost nobody tells you. There's a hidden detail, something even experienced collectors sometimes overlook, that can make your 1988 penny double in value overnight. It's not about the color. It's not about the scratches. It's about a microscopic minting characteristic that separates a valuable coin from a record-breaking one. We'll break that down in our next video, where I'll reveal exactly what to look for under magnification and how to tell whether your penny is just rare or truly priceless. So before you rush to sell or list your coins, make sure you know what you're holding, because a single mistake could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Every legendary collector started somewhere, often with just one coin that changed everything. Maybe this is your moment. The 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of copper. It's a symbol of hidden value, of opportunity disguised as ordinary. It's a reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight, waiting for the person who dares to look closer. So the next time you open that dusty coin jar, remember this: you might not just be counting pennies. You could be counting your first million. Check your coins. Know your worth. And never underestimate what's in your pocket, because sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest fortunes. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more insights into rare coins worth thousands, and learn how to turn your change into your chance at financial freedom. Imagine this: you're sorting through an old jar of pennies, something you've ignored for years. You tilt one coin under the light, and your heart skips. It's a 1989 Lincoln Memorial cent, no mint mark. To most people, it's just a penny, 1 cent, dull and forgotten. But what if I told you that very coin could be worth up to $989,000 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a simple penny that might be hiding in your kitchen drawer right now. Now, before you rush to grab your coin jar, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why this 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent has shocked collectors and made everyday people into accidental millionaires. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to tell if you're sitting on a fortune or just another 1 cent coin. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? Most people haven't. That's exactly why so many treasures go unnoticed. Let's rewind for a moment. Back to 1989. George H.W. Bush had just taken office, compact discs were the new thing, and the Berlin Wall was about to fall. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia and Denver was producing billions of ordinary-looking Lincoln Memorial pennies, coins that, on the surface, were completely unremarkable. But in that massive ocean of copper-plated zinc, a few rare errors slipped through, striking anomalies, die misalignments, and transitional planchet mistakes that would later become the stuff of numismatic legend. The 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent is one such mystery. It's from the Philadelphia Mint, and while Philadelphia coins typically lack a mint mark, this particular batch had something special. Certain coins were struck with unusual die varieties, off-metal errors, or proof-like characteristics that make them extremely valuable to collectors. And here's where it gets exciting. One recently graded 1989 no-mint Mark penny in pristine condition fetched a staggering $989,000 at a private auction. Now, before you laugh and say, who on earth would pay that for a penny? Think about this. Rare coins are not just collectibles. They're assets, tangible investments that tell the story of America's past. Wealthy collectors, investors, and even museums are willing to pay astronomical amounts for coins that represent moments in minting history that can never happen again. So, what makes this coin so valuable? Let's break it down. First, condition. If your 1989 penny is shiny, lustrous, and shows no visible wear, it might qualify as a mint state coin. Coins graded MS-67 or higher can command thousands, and in some exceptional cases, hundreds of thousands. Second, errors and varieties. Look closely for double die obverse or reverse features, like extra lines in Lincoln's beard, or doubling in the words liberty or in God we trust. Sometimes the 1989 date itself appears doubled, a hallmark of a rare die variety. Third, color and composition. A deep, red-toned coin, known in collector terms as RD, is more desirable than one that's brown or faded. The redder, the better. And finally, proof-like qualities. Some 1989 cents were struck with unusually sharp detail, mirror-like surfaces, and near-perfect finishes, possibly experimental strikes or die trials. These are the ones that make seasoned collectors' hearts race. So, while most people spend these coins without a thought, a select few are worth life-changing sums. But how do you know if your penny is one of them? Well, don't start rubbing it with a cloth. That's the fastest way to destroy its value. Instead, handle it gently by the edges, and if it looks promising, consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it, assess its condition, and if it's rare, you'll have the golden ticket. A certified coin that could fetch 6 or even 7 figures, and here's the pattern interrupt. Imagine explaining that to your neighbor. Yeah, I just sold a penny for almost $1 million. Can you picture their face? Priceless. Now, here's the part that most people never realize. The wealth you're searching for might not be in a bank account or a crypto wallet. It might be hiding in plain sight, resting quietly in your own home. Every coin tells a story. The 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of metal. It's a tiny time capsule from America's past. And for those who know what to look for, it's a potential path to wealth, legacy, and even freedom. So here's your challenge. Tonight, after watching this, go find that old coin jar. Pull out your pennies. Look for 1989. Examine them closely under a bright light. Because someone, somewhere, will find one of these extraordinary coins this year. And that person could be you. Don't wait until the market shifts or collectors move on. Rare coin values fluctuate, and timing can make the difference between a few $100s and nearly $1 million. If this video sparked something in you, a sense of curiosity, excitement, maybe even urgency, that's because deep down, you already know that opportunity doesn't always come knocking in gold bars or lottery tickets. Sometimes, it's disguised as a single humble penny. Before you click away, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because in our next video we're uncovering another hidden treasure. A coin that looks ordinary but could be worth over $2 million. You don't want to miss that. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old jar of coins, maybe one that's been sitting in your garage for decades. You hear that familiar clink, and there it is, a simple copper-colored penny from 1992. You glance at it thinking it's worthless. But what if I told you that penny could be worth nearly $992,000 today? Pause for a moment. That's right. A single 1-cent coin, worth more than most luxury homes in America. Now, before you rush to the couch cushions or dig through your drawers, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this rare coin, why it's so valuable, and how people just like you are turning old pennies into life-changing money. So, here's the question. What if your small change could change your life? To understand why the 1992 D. Lincoln Memorial penny is worth a fortune, we have to go back, way back, to the early 90s, when the U.S. Mint was transitioning its designs. Now, here's where things get interesting. In 1992, two versions of the penny were struck. One had a wide AM in America, and the other, an incredibly rare version, had a close AM. This tiny design variation, invisible to the untrained eye, is what separates an ordinary penny from a $992,000 treasure. Crazy, right? A small gap, or lack of one, can make the difference between 1 cent and almost $1 million. Here's the kicker. This wasn't intentional. It happened because a few proof dies, specialized tools meant for high-quality collector coins, were accidentally used to mint regular circulation pennies. The result? A few coins slipped into the wild that weren't supposed to exist. And now, decades later, collectors are desperate to find them. Let's pause here for a second. Take a moment to imagine what it would feel like to realize you've been holding a coin that could erase your mortgage, pay off debts, or buy you that dream house on the coast. That's not fantasy. It's reality for the few lucky people who found these rare 1992 D pennies. You might be thinking, wait, I've probably spent $1 million penny on a cup of coffee. And honestly, maybe you have. Somewhere out there, a barista might have handed back your change, not realizing one coin could buy the entire cafe. So before you run to Starbucks, let's figure out how you can spot one of these rare gems before it slips through your fingers again. Take any 1992 D penny. That's the one with the D mint mark under the date, meaning it was struck in Denver. Turn it over and look closely at the word America and regular 1992 pennies. The letters A and M are wide apart. But in the rare close AM variety, they almost touch. It's subtle, barely visible, but it's the telltale sign. Another detail? The designer's initials, FG, next to the Lincoln Memorial. On the rare penny, they're slightly farther away from the building than on the regular one. If you find a penny that matches these clues, you could be looking at a fortune. But here's the twist. There's something even more shocking than the penny's design difference. It's what happened after collectors discovered it. Once word got out, the coin-collecting world went into a frenzy. Auctions lit up, private collectors started bidding wars, and overnight, this small, forgotten piece of copper became one of the most talked-about coins in U.S. history. 1. Verified 1992 D close AM penny sold for tens of thousands of dollars. And as of today, The estimated market value is a staggering $992,000, depending on condition, mint luster, and preservation. Why so high? Because fewer than a handful have ever been confirmed to exist. That's rarer than many gold coins. Think about it, there are billions of pennies out there. Yet, this one, the 1992 D close AM, is like the needle in a mountain-sized haystack. This is where excitement turns into urgency. Because these coins are still out there. Some in collections, some in old jars, some in forgotten piggy banks. And every day that passes, someone else could find one before you do. Quick question, have you ever told someone your penny collection could make you a millionaire? And they laughed? Well, after this video, you might just get the last laugh. Here's what you can do right now. Go through your change, your old jars, your drawers. Focus on 1992 pennies with the D mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone's camera zoom to inspect the spacing of AM in America. Remember, if they're close together, you've struck gold. That if you find one, don't clean it. Cleaning a rare coin can actually destroy thousands of dollars of value. Instead, contact a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and help you connect with serious collectors or auction houses. And step 4, stay informed. Rare coin values fluctuate, but the demand for the 1992 D close AM penny has only gone up. Now you might be wondering, if a single penny from 1992 can be worth nearly $1 million, what about the other hidden treasures in your pocket change? There are coins out there, just as ordinary looking, that could turn your next grocery trip into $1 million payday. And in our next video, we're diving into another shocking discovery. A common Lincoln cent from the 1970s that collectors are fighting over for 6 figures. Remember this, true wealth doesn't always start with a huge paycheck. Sometimes, it starts with awareness, the ability to see value where others see nothing. The 1992 D Lincoln Memorial Penny is proof that small things can carry extraordinary worth. It's not just a coin. It's a reminder that opportunity often hides in plain sight. So, the next time you hold a penny, look at it twice. That one moment of curiosity could be worth nearly $1 million. Because in the world of rare coins, every pocket change has a story, and some stories can change your life forever. If you found this video inspiring, don't let it end here. Subscribe now for more hidden coin secrets, insider valuations, and real stories of people turning pennies into wealth. Who knows? The next millionaire coin hunter could be you. Imagine this. You're digging through an old coffee can full of pennies. Maybe it's tucked away in your attic or passed down from your parents. You tilt the can and a single coin rolls out. It's small, brown, worn. Just another penny, right? But what if I told you that this very penny, a simple 1998 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, could be worth up to $998,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, hiding in plain sight, carrying nearly $1 million secret. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, stay with me. Because in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how to identify it, and most importantly, why the market is paying insane prices for this tiny piece of American history. But let's be real for a moment. How many of us have dismissed a penny as just change? We drop them, we ignore them, we even vacuum them up. Well, that tiny mistake could be the most expensive decision of your life. And don't worry, we're not diving into some boring coin lecture. Think of this as uncovering a hidden treasure map, and the X might already be sitting in your pocket. Let's rewind for a second to 1998. Bill Clinton was in the White House, Titanic was ruling the box office, and Lincoln cents were rolling off the US mint presses by the billions. Nothing special, right? Except something went a little off that year. Some of the 1998 Lincoln Memorial cents struck without a mint mark have a remarkable and extremely rare variation that turned collectors' heads. At first glance, it looks ordinary. But upon closer inspection, the design details reveal a subtle difference that changes everything. The no mint mark on the coin means it was produced in Philadelphia. But what's truly extraordinary about a few of these coins is the transitional error in the die design. See, starting in 1998, the mint was experimenting with the new 1999 reverse design. A few dies, the metal stamps that strike the coins, were accidentally swapped early. This means a handful of 1998 pennies were struck using the 1999 reverse design, creating one of the rarest transitional errors in modern US coinage. And the result? A coin that looks just like every other 1998 penny, until you compare the details of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. The designer's initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, appear closer and sharper, and the spacing between the columns and the memorial steps is slightly different. Collectors call this the wide AM variety, and it's this tiny detail that transforms an everyday penny into a six-figure masterpiece. Here's where things get thrilling. One of these 1998 wide AM pennies was sold at auction for nearly $1 million, shattering expectations and sending collectors into a frenzy. The coin was graded in pristine condition, mint state 69, almost flawless, gleaming like it was struck yesterday. And if you're thinking, well, that's just one lucky find, think again. Several others have surfaced since then, not all in perfect condition, but still fetching thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here's the catch. Millions of 1998 pennies were made, but only a microscopic fraction have this rare variation. So yes, the odds are slim, but not impossible. And if you've got a jar full of pennies from the 90s, you might be sitting on a fortune without knowing it. Now, take a second and really think about that. A single penny, the smallest coin in circulation, could buy you a luxury home, a dream car, or even fund your retirement. Doesn't that make you want to start checking every penny you own? Hold that thought, because in a moment, I'll show you exactly how to spot this valuable variation without any special tools. But first, a quick question to reset your focus. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? Be honest. Most of us haven't in years. We swipe cards, tap phones, and forget that tiny pieces of history are still circulating in our change. All right, here's the part you've been waiting for: how to identify the 1998 no-mint mark penny worth nearly $1 million. Flip the coin over. Look at the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial. You'll want to focus on the letters A and M in the word America.in, the rare wide AM variety. There's a clear space between the A and the M. In the common close AM variety, they're almost touching. That small gap, barely a millimeter, is what separates an ordinary penny from a life-changing one. Next, look closely at the designer's initials FG. On the valuable wide AM version, they're set farther away from the base of the memorial. If you spot these signs, do not clean the coin, do not handle it roughly, and definitely do not spend it. Place it carefully in a soft holder or coin flip and contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for evaluation. Now here's where things get urgent. These coins are being snapped up fast by collectors and investors. Every year, the number of uncirculated examples drops as they're discovered and locked away in private collections. The market value has climbed sharply, from just a few $100s in the early 2000s to nearly $998,000 for top-grade specimens today. And with more collectors turning to modern rarities, the demand is only going up. So yes, time matters. That old penny jar in your closet might be more valuable than your 401k, but only if you take action before it's too late. Now, here's something most people don't realize. The thrill of coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about connection. Every coin carries a story of history, craftsmanship, and the people who used it. And when you hold that rare 1998 Lincoln cent in your hand, you're holding a tangible piece of American legacy. But let's add a little humor. Just imagine explaining to your friends that your biggest financial win came from a penny. They'd probably laugh until they see the check with 6 zeros. Before we wrap up, here's your cliffhanger. Experts believe another batch of these rare 1998 wide AM pennies might still be undiscovered in circulation. Could one of them be in your possession right now? Go check your change. Look through your coin jars. Pull out that dusty drawer of old cents. Because every second you wait, someone else might be cashing in on a penny worth more than your car. And remember, success, wealth, and opportunity don't always come wrapped in gold or silver. Sometimes they're hidden in plain sight, in copper. So, are you ready to turn your spare change into a small fortune? If this video inspired you, make sure to subscribe, because next week we're diving into another unbelievable coin find, one even rarer than this.